Nothing personal, kid.
Jesus Christ. Let me come around.
How you doing, Roy?
Congratulations. Hector, large full blue eyes for this gentleman. Soft drinks of choice.
What is going on, my friends? Welcome to today's video. I hope you guys have had a fantastic weekend. If you have had a fantastic weekend, let me know in the comment section what you've been up to. Drop a like on the video, leave a subscribe, all of that good stuff. Today's video, my friends, we are talking about Igneous Hammer and why, controversial opinion inbound, I prefer it to the Palindrome. I get asked this a lot on my stream, twitch.tv/shake, by the way. People always see me rocking the Igneous over the Pally, and they're like, why do you do that? And for a long time, I was kind of like, well, I don't actually have a really good Adept Palindrome. That all changed about 2 weeks ago when they brought it back to be farmed in the Nightfall, and I got a really good Outlaw Rangefinder Palindrome. And it's fantastic. But then Trials came around, and I used Pally for the first hour or two of the Trials weekend, and then I found myself switching back to old reliable Igneous Hammer. And so I have come to the conclusion that, at least for me, Igneous Hammer is a better weapon. Now obviously some people are going to disagree. The TTK on the Palindrome is obviously better, only just slightly, but it is better. 120 RPM versus 140 RPM. Now let's break down some numbers here. Not a big numbers guy, but it's got to be done. Let's break down some numbers. I did some testing in a private match and I was able to 3-tap people at 40 meters with my Igneous Hammer. Now you can see my role here. Elemental Capacitor on a Void Subclass is the crucial part of my role. You can also see we just basically got very high stability, very high stability in combination with very high aim assist. I think having both the range stat and the stability stat almost maxed out is just insane. This is a 120 RPM. If I put a stability mod on my weapon, it has 96 stability and around 89 or 88 range. This thing is insane, my friends. It is insane. Now, Palindrome, obviously, it kills quicker, but it doesn't kill with the same number of crits. A 120 can kill in 2 headshots and 1 body shot. A 140 requires 3 headshots to kill, 70 damage per crit, compared to the 80 damage per crit on the 120s. Crucially as well, 120s do 50 to the body, with 140s doing considerably less. Now, obviously, most players are going to run a Pally or an Iosuna. It completely makes sense. But I want to just talk about the reasons why I really like Igneous Hammer. And I think the main thing, obviously I just mentioned it, it's the stats, right? It's the stats. This thing has the most juiced up stats of any hand cannon I've ever used in my life. It is insane. It's an absolute stat monster. So if you were to take any other 120, a Bottom Dollar, a True Prophecy, a Steady Hand, they would not feel as good as this Igneous. It is the absolute definition of buttery smooth. It just is so stable. It's like it has no recoil. The hitbox is ginormous. Now I know the hitboxes are big in everything in the game, but nah, dude. It's almost impossible to not hit shots with this gun. That's how good it is. And what it kind of reminds me of is Destiny 1 hand cannon gameplay, where obviously everybody was on controller, and it took 1 headshot and 2 body shots to kill someone, and it became less about complete utter focus on hitting a 3-tap like it is in this game, where you need to hit 3 crits to get a kill. And it means I can focus more on other things in my game. My strafing, my positioning, all of these things, my approach. Instead of having to be so hyper-focused on making sure I'm perfectly 100% accurate against my opponent, who could be doing anything, right? It could be spamming a DMT at me, it could be SMGing me, it could be flinching me with a pulse. There's so many things he could be doing. And I believe, on controller especially, I just feel like hand cannons are just inferior on controller compared to mouse and keyboard. Obviously, I play on PC with controller, 20 sensitivity, so obviously I managed to hang in there. No one's jumping over my head and, doing the controller counter to me. But at the same time, I can just feel it when I play against a good player on M&K. Their hand cannon shot is just different to a good controller player's hand cannon shot. They don't work with the same limitations that a controller player does. If you're 50 meters away and you're on mouse and keyboard, you can still plug away at someone, whereas on a controller, at that point you have no aim assist and you're just getting smacked around and your bullets are kind of vanishing into thin air. Of course, mouse and keyboard is just a slightly more, well, I wouldn't say slightly, a far more precise input method as well, and obviously with hand cannons being, requiring 3 headshots, it's just clear. It's clear as day. Mouse and keyboard 140s are superior to controller 140s. I'm not saying you can't compete with 140 with a controller. You absolutely can. That isn't what I'm saying. All I'm saying is I feel like mouse and keyboard players have an advantage against controller players when it comes to hand cannon duels. You guys can feel free to disagree if you like. That's just my opinion. I feel like I am way more comfortable taking someone on with the Igneous Hammer. Now, there is a sort of range. You know, I'm talking like if you're in like 20 meters, 25 meters, 30 meters, in that sort of range against a good player, you definitely feel it. That 20 RPM, you start to feel it a little bit. And you start to feel like you don't have the speed. But what you do have over the speed is the damage. I can put a headshot and a body shot into someone, and they are absolute at that point. Whereas if a Palindrome puts a headshot and a body shot into you, he's basically just about broken your shields. The difference in damage is huge. Now, you guys probably know I like to use slug shotguns a lot. Now, I can body you for 50 damage with the Igneous Hammer, quick swap to my slug shotgun, and body you for 150 damage for a cleanup kill. And on a hand cannon like a 140, you can't do that. You have to hit headshots all the time. And in this game, with the way the movement is, with the way this game's just crazy, right? With all of that, taken into consideration, you're not always going to be perfect. You're not always going to hit a headshot. Sometimes you're just going to hit a shot. And with Igneous Hammer, a shot is all you need. I put one body shot into you, I swap to the slug shotgun, and it is GG's. Now, my Igneous Hammer doesn't have the best handling, but that is completely alleviated by stuff like quick charge on the shotgun, or shotgun dexterity on my shotty, and it just makes it feel very, very snappy, regardless of the low handling stat. On top of that, obviously we're rocking hand cannon targeting, and sometimes I will also rock a hand cannon dexterity mode as well, if I want to feel extra snappy. Again, something like quick charge, right? I get a double with a shotty, and now my Igneous is hitting like what, 97 to the head. So these little things, man, you're just able to 2-tap after getting a double with a shotty. Any kind of high energy fire charge with light gameplay will lead to you 2-tapping someone, and it's just so powerful. It's so good. It's so chunky. If I'm playing bubble, I can pop a bubble, and now I'm hitting like 105 to the head per crit. Now, there is a caveat here. My role, you need to be on a Void subclass to truly get the most out of it, in my opinion. You don't need to have stability in the 90s for Igneous Hammer to be good, though. I do want to make that clear. Like, you could use a Igneous Hammer with 75 stability and it would still feel absolutely fantastic. This role just, it's what I like about the game. I found something that suits me specifically. I'm a Void Titan main. Elemental Capacitor on Void gives you stability. What it does is just transforms the Igneous Hammer for me and my playstyle. Now, obviously, if you are not into, Void, maybe this isn't interesting to you. But that being said, don't forget, Void 3.0 is round the corner, my friends. So as soon as Void 3.0 hits, well, this Igneous Hammer's already glued to my hands. But after this, good luck prying it from my cold, dead body. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, guys, I hope I have explained why I feel like my Igneous is better. I feel like it's more consistent. I feel like it's more reliable. I feel like it's more forgiving. And I feel like it's far more powerful with any kind of damage buff going. And it's very easy right now in the Crucible to get some charge with light damage buffs going, particularly with quick charge. So yeah, if you're on the sticks and you're a Void player and you haven't tried out an Elemental Capacitor Adept Igneous Hammer, well, give it a try. Let me know what you think. I will say in the end as well, the Pally is just far more all-purpose, right? For what I'm doing, you need to be on a Void and all of that sort of stuff. But with a Pally, like my Outlaw Rangefinder Pally, you pick that up and use it on any character and it's just as good. So obviously Palindrome has some clear advantages as well. The TTK is better as well, of course. It shoots faster, probably applies a little bit more flinch in closer ranges. So of course Palindrome is amazing. But this is just my personal preference. How do you feel about it? Let me know in the comment section. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.